Hello, I'm Naomi Bradshaw, and today I am interviewing a good friend of mine. Her name, Lady Jaimz. Corsets and Cuties is something that brings me joy as a patron in the audience, but also as a guest star. I've guest starred with Corsets and Cuties several times, and every time it's been a damn good time. So I thought, who better than to start with Lady Jaimz when I'm talking about joy, wink, and also sexy stuff too. Are you excited? I'm excited. And I got a tribble.
I'm excited to do an interview on camera with no makeup just after a rehearsal.
Yeah,
sure.
Naomi is my friend. All right, so you probably love these questions that I just pulled out of my ass.
Let's do it.
All right.
Ask me anything.
All right, so I was wondering,
Yes.
who is Lady Jaimz as compared to Daytime Jaimz?
Oh, okay.
Well, Lady Jaimz is my persona when I'm hosting. It's the pulled together and sarcastic and, kind of a mother hen to the cast. It's, taking away the personal side of things and just laying it all out on the stage for a good time. We don't take ourselves seriously, but we take our show very seriously. And I just want the audience to be comfortable and come along on the ride with us. Daytime, I've got my regular job, I've got my kids, like everybody else, I have bills to pay and errands to run and all that stuff. So Lady Jaimz kind of gets to have the good side of all the fun.
And it's a good release, I bet.
Yeah.
It's a very good, actually it's therapy, it is. Like we just came out of a rehearsal tonight that you got to see. And it's a little frustrating when we're trying to deal with 10 people and choreography and trying to figure out where everybody goes, especially if somebody's missed a rehearsal and we have to fit them in. So it's a process.
And that's the mother hen part.
Very much so. I say I herd cats. Yeah. My title is HBIC because, I want it to be a collaborative effort to do the show, and I want everybody to have their voices heard and have, a chance to speak up if there's something they need to say. But overall and in the end, it is something that I put together.
The buck stops
The
here.
buck stops here.
And speaking of putting it together, I was curious, how did you come up with the concept? When did you come up with the concept? And over time, how has it changed?
It came up about 9 years ago now. I did a show at Fringe called Red Light, The Bad Girls of Broadway, and it was all the fun, sexy songs that you know from Broadway shows. And it sold out 2 nights into the 7-night run. So the entire run sold out. So that was so popular. We wanted to do it again, but we did it with Breakthrough Theater of Winter Park, and they wanted to go on and do a regular show. So we went ahead and did it ourselves. Me and a girlfriend of mine started it in her living room, came up with the idea that we have all these people in town, being a theme park town, that we work with and we know and we love and have amazing talent, but maybe they don't fit the mold as what the ingenue is, or the fairy godmother. So it's that in between where people maybe age out of one role and they're not old enough for another, or they don't fit this mold, or they're just amazingly talented and we wanted to play with them. So we invited all of our friends. We started Corsets and Cuties, and that was 7 years ago this August.
Wow, 7 years it's been.
It's been crazy.
From the second year, my partner left and she moved to out of state with her family, so it's been mine since then. And we've had Cuties go, we've had them new ones come in, and then we've had the people who left come back in again, which is kind of cool. So it's kind of an ebb and flow of personalities, and it's changed a little bit where we kind of didn't know what we wanted the look and feel to be when we first started, so we just kind of crammed everything in. And since then, it's kind of turned into a very supportive and collaborative family of people who love what they do and they have the space and the freedom to do it.
I can see that. It's like a family.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Sometimes more than others.
Okay, so would there be, how many, like a dozen regular cast members now? And then do you even know how many guest stars that you've had over the last 7 years?
We are very lucky. Right now, we currently have 13 cast members who are regular on our roster, and that also includes our amateur winner from last year that we invite them to learn and grow and be in group numbers and kitten our shows, which means help us clean up the clothes and stuff and grab the tips in between numbers. Guest stars, we usually have one per show, and then at Fringe we have one each show. This year we're kind of stepping back from that for Fringe because we have so many cast members and we have such a limited time for Fringe. We're only allowed to do 60 minutes. So we kind of have to give our cast members a shot first. But we've been really, really lucky that the most amazing people in the community, like yourself, have been able to guest star with us. People from other shows, like Tamisha Harris from Josephine.
So great.
Yeah, I love her. In this next show, we have Addison Panic, who's from a burlesque group in Lakeland. So he's going to come.
Him.
He's so fun.
So fun.
And we've had people from other burlesque shows and other cabarets in the community come and guest star with us. We've had magicians and different danger acts, which is really fun to have. Guest stars from Phantasmagoria come and play with us. So, we kind of keep one thing in the show that's a little bit different than everything else to keep that element of, oh, what's it going to be this time?
I like that because I've been to several shows myself, and I never know what to expect.
Neither do I.
I know. Even sometimes you don't, and you're the one who's leading the show.
That's the fun part of it
Yeah.
is the surprise. And my background is improv. I've done improv for over 24 years. And that has been the base of everything I do. Give me a microphone and I can talk for hours.
It's good for life, right?
Absolutely. It's yes and finding the joy in
Yes.
things. And I will always be thankful for SAC Comedy Lab for that because that's what my basis is.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So joy, you say that word. What do you know? Recover your joy. This show is about trying to find the joy that's hiding in our daily lives because so many of us are just rushing from one thing to the other and we kind of forget about that part. But I see that you, as a friend, I see that you kind of fit joy into your everyday life. You have your frustrations just like I do and times when you want to pull your hair out. But it seems like your base is joy. Would you agree with that description?
I'm very lucky that I have different facets of my life that I'm lucky enough to have a support system. My boyfriend is fantastic. My kids are fantastic. They're always helping me with stuff. The Cuties have not only become family, but they're longtime friends. And even with the frustrations, you can find, okay, let's set that aside for a minute and let's focus on something that makes me happy. Something I got in the mail from Amazon, that you've been waiting on, or you're going out to dinner at one of your favorite restaurants, or my day job, I work in weddings, and where is Wedding Without Joy? So that's kind of fun when you hear the stories of the girls and they get excited, or the couples that come in and they've waited a long time to get married and they finally get to, and their stories. So if you don't have joy in your day, it's going to be a long day.
A really long day. And the shows don't happen that often.
We do a show every month or so, and sometimes after Fringe we take a couple months off, and then we come back and do our anniversary show in August.
So speaking of Fringe, can you describe to the audience what is Fringe?
The Orlando International Fringe Festival is the longest running Fringe internationally. We're celebrating our 30th year this year, even though we had a little bit of a 30th last year with online stuff. This is like 30.1 this year. It is a unjuried, uncensored festival of 10 days, 2 weeks of any show that wants to enter. And it's all done in a lottery system. So there's a certain amount of shows that can fit in the schedule, and they draw a lottery of names of shows that have entered, and if you get drawn, your show is in. Doesn't matter what it's about, who's in it, what you're doing. It just has to fit in the parameters of 60 to 90 minutes usually. There's different tiers of the audience sizes, so there's sometimes a 40-person audience, sometimes there's a 300-person audience. This year it'll be a little different because of the social distancing. You can see the absolute best things in the world that you can't believe you saw it. The maximum price is $12. Or you can say, oh my God, I can't believe I spent $12 watching that. But it's always a story.
What did I just see?
It's always a story. And it's like a homecoming for the Orlando theater community because, theme park actors do it, local actors do it, people come in from out of town to do it, people who've left come back and visit. There's the big lawn of fabulousness over at Shakes that everybody hangs out with the food trucks and the beer tent. And
it's an experience.
You have to go. You buy a button because that button supports the cost of the Fringe, and all of the ticket sales go directly back to the artist. So you buy a button one time, and then you can buy your tickets to any show. And it's definitely an experience, and it's something we look forward to every year.
It's not your first year. How many times has Corsets and Cuties participated in the Fringe Festival here in Orlando?
This will be our 6th year. Last year, the last year we performed was our last year at our venue, and it was torn down, unfortunately. So this year will be our first year at our new venue, which is House on Church Street.
It's fabulous.
It's so exciting because it's a restaurant downstairs, and our show is upstairs, and our show is called Delicious. Makes sense, right?
The poster is just epic.
I can't even tell you how excited I am about that poster. It's like RuPaul meets burlesque. It's so great. I wanted something high concept and ridiculous because like I said, I don't take anything seriously. It's just ridiculous. And the poster is a play on The Last Supper because it's delicious. And we shot that picture with Castaldo Studios, each one of us individually, separately, because of social distancing and COVID. And we were all masked the whole time unless we're actually taking our picture. And then we had it all melted together so it looks like it's all one group, and it just came out so well. Thank you. I'm a very good graphic designer. I'm very happy to work with about that.
Because that's the great thing about creatives is, during all this terrible turmoil and loss, we came from behind, and a lot of people that I know personally met the challenges, crushed the challenges, and reinvented things.
We had to learn so much about technology.
Right?
We had to learn about live streaming and doing web shows, and burlesque is really hard to translate online. But there was things in ways that we did it, and there's still some groups that are doing really great online stuff. So definitely check that out. You can watch burlesque in the comfort of your own home, or in the privacy of your own home. But burlesque isn't necessarily about sex. It's more about the art of the tease. It's empowerment.
Empowerment. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's cheeky, and it's a little bit of teasing and a little tantalizing, but it never should be crude. It should never be invasive. It tells a story, whether it's comedy or something serious and sensual. We've done very political things. We've done very emotional things, and it's.
I think my daughter was involved in something political, if I remember correctly.
She did a Hillary Clinton number.
I know.
So we loved
That's
her
funny.
with us.
So my daughter was in a Corsets and Cuties show. My daughter is named Alana Chuyan. She has a band. You and I with Shane Honkanen from. She also performs with Classic Albums Live at Hard Rock Live.
Was Leia Nicely.
Leia Nicely. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, I have to admit, when I think of Corsets and Cuties, besides joy and fun, it's empowerment, but also inclusiveness.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so
important.
many times you think of burlesque, you think, well, you have to have a perfect butt and a perfect, giant boobs or whatever, but when I see a Corsets and Cuties show, I can see that there are some people that are older, younger, men,
short,
women,
thin,
all different body shapes, and
colors,
it's a
all
celebration of your sensuality rather than your sexuality.
Yes, exactly.
Don't you think?
That was important to me from the beginning. Is we had all kinds of people in the show, like you said, boys, girls, and we've had trans, we've had drag. I love it. I want to be a place that's safe for people to explore that side of themselves, and that's why we love our amateur show. We do an amateur show every year. The first year we had 4 contestants, and this past year we had 15.
And what time of year does that occur?
That happens in September, so I'll put the call out if you want to know. Find us on Facebook. Yes, I'm looking at you.
I have to admit, it has been something that has crossed my mind before because of my story. And the fact that at such a young age I was exposed to sexuality.
Right.
And then as a teenager, I was sexually trafficked. I had to experience things where my sexuality didn't really belong to me.
Now you can take that back.
And I feel like it would be a wonderful, empowering experience, especially since you are a safe person and, always have been for me. And the Corsets and Cuties family is like my family, too. So what do you think about that, me and you working together?
Girl,
I've tried to get you on the stage for a while.
You've
So
been waiting for me to get ready. She's just waiting.
I'm just waiting for you to have your chance. I tell everybody, you can do as much or as little as you want on the stage that you feel safe. Like for me personally, I didn't do pasties for 3 years, I think, of the show. And then I was watching my girls, and they were so freeing doing it, and it was like, they're doing it, I should be able to do it. And the first time I did it, I was like, oh my God, here's my boobies, lights out. But then since then, it's been like, okay, cool. And every show, we have somebody coming up to us afterwards saying, oh my gosh, I love what you do. How can I do that? I want to do that.
Yeah.
I want the people in the audience to have that feeling when they go home of like, I want to do that. I want to get on the stage. If you don't, that's fine.
I was in the audience for the amateur
Yes.
contest, and
Yes.
I loved it because I believe you did have a trans person that night.
Yes.
And then there was also an older woman.
Older woman who had come out of a very abusive relationship.
Abusive marriage.
And this was her first time. She was a former ballerina. This was her first time back on stage, and like she said, telling him to F off.
That was her way of
that
telling
was her,
him
That
to
was
F
her
off.
way of saying, this body is mine, it's no longer yours.
It doesn't
And-
belong to you, pal.
Exactly. And
for
like
her.
you said, we've done political stuff. You know, with the election, I did a very, very cheeky Trump number. I won't tell you which way it went, but the election went my way, let's say it that way. You know, we have the boys perform too, which is so great because it's not like a Chippendales number. It's,
Right.
you know, very empowering for them as well because the girls in the audience love the women performing, but when the guys come out, it's like,
Excited.
yes, you're doing it too. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if they're ripped or if they have the dad bod or, you
it's
know.
even better if it's a dad bod.
Oh, love the dad bods.
Right?
But you know, the aerialists we have are so wonderful.
It's exciting.
We have girls that do traditional burlesque. We have belly dancers. We have feather fan dancers. I want it to be an amalgamation of everything that somebody in the audience themselves can identify with and say, that's what I find sexy. Oh, I look like that. Oh, they
see
people love that.
themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I personally, I've always been a bigger person. I've always been the big girl in chorus. I was always afraid my costumes wouldn't have fit, you know. I was never cast in a leading role at the parks. I was always the funny sidekick kind of a thing, which is fine. I mean, that, you know, I took power in that. But with this, I can do whatever I want. And I've got amazing support. Like I said, my boyfriend,
He's awesome, by the way.
he's amazing. He sits in the back of the room and he helps with the streaming, or he does the spotlight. He brings in all my crap. You know, he watches me as I make these stupid costumes that I love to death, and he wakes up, you know, and with rhinestones on his butt from them being in the bed and me doing crafts. But you'll hear him bellow laugh in the back when I crack a joke, and it's like the best thing. He'll sit with me after a show and, you know, on my porch at midnight eating tacos as I go through everything that happened the night, and he's thrown out people from the show because they wouldn't wear
Oh, I
masks.
remember that last time. A lady
Yeah.
wouldn't wear a mask and she was wasted.
Oh my gosh, it was so
And
good.
y'all made it part of the act.
Totally.
It was
did.
great.
You know, when
Somebody is ejected from your show because they can't follow a rule that everybody else can, and then she's calling everybody sheep, and we all just bah.
And speaking of which, your shows are very safe.
Yes, thank you for that. The Theater Weston, we've been performing in Sanford, has actually torn out all their theater seats and put back in cabaret seats at half capacity with plexiglass partitions in
That's
between
amazing.
each party, and they have a masks at mask policy as well as House. House has a limited capacity of 60 people with the tables spread out, the masks at mask policy. The performers are always distanced. We wear a clear mask if we're performing together.
I like those masks.
Yeah, because you can see your
You
face,
see your
but it's still
face,
protection. And slowly but surely, you know, everybody's getting vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not out of that mask policy yet, but we're slowly seeing the
We're
light at the
getting
end of the tunnel. Yeah, the capacity is being able to go up a little bit here and there, and we're just, you know, chugging along, trying to get
impressed.
back to the regular day.
I am impressed by you guys and everything that you've done. I mean, there's been some standouts in the Orlando area, and you and Corsets and Cuties are definitely one of them. No.
It's
I
funny
mean
when,
it.
when people say that, it always makes me blush because to me, I'm just having a good time with my friends. I mean,
Yeah.
I still think of myself as, you know, like mid-20s having a good time.
Yeah.
Instead of going to clubs,
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
have shows with my friends. I just turned 45.
Yeah,
So
I feel
I'm
that
like-
way too until I get a hot flash.
Well, until like right now, I have no makeup on, and I'm like looking at it, go, oh my god, my face is all red from dancing.
You're gorgeous. I
Yeah.
appreciate you
Well,
doing this after rehearsal.
Yeah,
letting
you
us
know,
invade
that's
your
what it is.
space.
It is what it is.
You know,
Yeah.
but I remember when I started coming up with the idea about the Fringe Festival, and I sat down with you at lunch,
Yeah. That was
and
like
I
4
told you
years ago.
about all my terrible childhood and everything that happened to me, and you couldn't have been more open and warm and nice and encouraging to me, and that really made a difference in my journey.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I love you.
And I love that you came to me and you were open and honest with me. So I always have been a person that people told their troubles to, which I guess it's either a good listener or I can commiserate, or you know, it might be being the oldest child of a single mom. You know, that comes along with it too. I think.
I'm an oldest child too. They took care of all the kids.
Yeah,
made sure they had
exactly,
food and
exactly. My
everything.
mom worked her butt off to take care of us, and you kind of have empathy for anybody in a situation that you can identify with. So.
Well, thank you. Well, let's see if I have any more questions. Oh, I wanted to ask you, how has Premier always been your sponsor? And do you get free lube?
Woo! Okay, so Premier Couples Superstore. They take you where you want to go.
Oh, yeah.
They have been always our sponsor. They started with us back when we were doing the Bad Girls, Red Light, the Bad Girls of Broadway. Tony, who owns it, his daughter was getting married, and I was working in wedding cakes at the time. And he came in my shop, and we were talking about wedding cakes, and he picked up the book of our adult cakes for like bachelorette parties and stuff. And I was like, I want to see your face when you open that. And he goes, I want to see your face when I tell you what I do. And he handed me his card. And I went, oh, we're best friends now. So he sponsored that show. When we broke off and started Corsets and Cuties, he said he'll come along with us. They are so supportive of us. He and Susan are the mom and pop that own that store. And it is a mom and pop
They're super
store.
nice.
The greatest people. Not only are they super nice, but they come to every show. They go to other shows during Fringe. They support the Barber Fund, which is Blue Stars Initiative for people living with cancer. They come to my comedy shows. They'll go out and see other people's concerts, like Lindsley. They'll go see her play live. And they're just great people. They always want to be there. They always want to support, and we always want to support them. Plus, their store is great. I don't know if you've ever been shopping there, but we don't get free lube. But for shows, we always give out a gift card to somebody in the audience. We've given out gift baskets before. Valentine's Day, we have given out little trinkets. And then at Christmas, we do, for the holiday show, the 12 nights of premiere. So instead of the 12 days of Christmas or 12 nights of Christmas, we do the toys. And we don't know what we're getting until we do the song and we pull it out of the box.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Oh.
exactly. So at the end of
That number, we have 12 little gifts that we give out to the audience.
That's great.
So it's always fun. They do a text to win. So if you text the word Cuties, Cuties, to 71441, you can be entered to win a gift card.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. I hope
Yeah.
everybody takes advantage of that.
So we love them.
Okay,
So we always
well-
want to support them.
Let's see. The last question. Have you had any wardrobe malfunctions that you would like to tell us about?
Have I not had any more? I mean, there's always something that happens. There's always a costume piece that doesn't come off the right way, or it gets stuck, or the problem in Florida when you're doing quick changes, especially in the venues that we perform in, pasties have a tendency to not stick because of what we call humidity.
Humidity.
And it's basically you sweat and that adhesive doesn't stick. And when we performed at our last venue for Fringe, is the venue, we actually had to set up out in the parking lot and we got changed outside. Yeah. So we'd have to go in and out from outside. And I had a number I did with balloons. I did Adamant goody two shoes. And it was on a hoop skirt and the balloons were all set up and ready to go. But then when I came inside to the AC, they popped on their own.
Oops.
So I was like, just, try to play it off. But you just kind of roll with it. And the audience, if you celebrate your failures, the audience will celebrate with you.
Right. Kind of like when a little kid, if a balloon pops and the little kid looks to you to see, should I cry or not?
Yeah.
And if you go, yay,
Yes.
then the little kid would go,
Celebrate
oh,
failure.
yay.
Exactly.
But if you cry, then the kid would cry too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the first times I was performing when my boyfriend was in the audience, there was a spot in the stage where I just stepped wrong and I fell to my knees and I flipped my hair up and I made eye contact with him and I was like, don't you fucking do anything because I'm still going. And he just looked like he was going to jump up and like take care of me, rescue me, yeah. And I was like, nope, I'm still going. And I mean, our crew has had so many different falls and bras getting caught on fishnets. We did a show at Theater West End. We never know what the stage is going to look like when we show up because we have to perform on whatever their season show is. Their season show during Halloween 2 years ago was once on this island.
I remember that.
So
I showed up and it was
we
all
showed up.
dirt.
It was a beach.
Oh my God.
It was all
Yes.
sand and a big moat, and we did burlesque
Yep.
on the beach.
Yep.
And so our clothes, when we tossed them off, landed in the water. There was sand everywhere.
Yep.
So you just roll with it, and that's one of the best things with improv is yes and. You know what? This is your challenge. Yes, and I'm gonna do something.
I think that's a great way to go through life instead of
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
so many times the negativity
Oh,
is
yeah.
prevalent. But if you just go through life and go, today when I go through my day,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes and.
Yes.
I'm going to try that tomorrow.
Accept your challenge. That's one of the first things that you'll learn at improv, and you're going to do it.
I am
know
going
you
to
are.
do it. I am going to do improv this year.
Do it.
And I'm going to do burlesque.
Yes, you
And
are.
we're going to come back again and do some more talking together.
I love that.
When I get a little closer to rehearsing, I'll rehearse with you. And
Okay.
We'll revisit it again.
Okay, I already have the opening number ready for the.
Oh, well, I can't wait to hear about it.
All right, so you'll get a little insight.
Yes,
It'll be in
tell me what I'm
September.
doing.
September, so be on the lookout for
Wake me
it.
up when September comes. It's going to be awesome. Well, thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Lady Jaimz.
Thank you for
It's been a
chatting.
pleasure talking to you and letting us invade your space.
Ah,
And you personify joy
thank you.
and also badassery, I might add.
You know, sometimes at the end of the day, I don't feel like it, but I appreciate somebody recognizing it.
Well, it's coming across to the rest of us out there that are also struggling and feeling less than at
Yeah.
times, and it helps us keep on going.
Absolutely, I have
Speaking-
people who do that for me too.
Yep.
So I thank
we'll
you.
help each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
Well, with that, that's our second episode, our first episode with an actual guest that I'm not related to or married to.
Yet.
And this was Recover Your Joy. Thank you.